G'day guys and welcome back to another episode of On Point Adventures. We're getting ready for some serious surf fishing coming up. So today we're in the shed and we're preparing ourselves for some massive tailor. So what I want to do today is I want to run you through the rig that we use for these massive tailor and where it slightly varies from those standard tailor rigs. Now we're going to be going through it from start to finish. Obviously we're going to be making this rig today for you. I'll run you through it nice and slowly, so therefore you're not going to miss anything. You can always pause the video. That's the beauty of social media. Rewind, go faster, whatever you need to find the most important bits for you. But anyway, let's stop yakking. Let's get into what we're going to need to build this rig and let's start creating. Here we go. Okay, so first, what are we going to need? We're going to need two types of leaders. One of which I like 40 pound, and this is going to be the leader that runs down to the sinker. We're going to need 80 pound. Now 80 pound is for the hooks. Now I know a lot of you are going to say, well, that's a bit heavy for tailor, but we're chasing big tailor here. Not only does the 80 pound give us that extra resistance to bite offs, but it does another very important thing, which I'll show you. We're going to need one of these here. Now this here is a jig wig. Now we're going to use a jig wig because, well, that'll get explained in the video as well, but we use this as an attractant. It sits over the nose of that pilchard perfectly and really does help. You're going to need one single bead of your choice. We are going to need a little tiny sinker clip like this, and it's very important we've got the sinker clip on there. The bigger the sinker clip, the better. So these ones are Harbour. They do probably the best sinker clips I've used. We're going to need a standard tri-crane swivel, which anyone who fishes for tailor will know this swivel back to front. And of course, we're going to need our gang hooks. Now we're going to be making our own today. Everyone who always makes their gang hooks, I guarantee 7/7, 6D mustads, but it's time to put them away, guys, because there's a new kid on the block. These hooks from YM are absolutely amazing. These are the gangable tarpons. You can find them in most of your major retailers now. What makes these different from the 7/7, 6Ds is these are razor sharp outside of the packet. So with the 7/7s, as you know, you need to give them a bit of a file and to make them sharp. These here are ridiculously sharp out the packet, almost like they're chemically sharpened. They are forged, so they're super strong. They're an open ring, ready to go, so all you have to do is link them and close them. And of course, they're offset as well, which is perfect for tailor fishing. And these are the 6/0s. When I'm chasing big tailor, 6/0s. You're gonna need a pair of pliers to close them, and of course, your braid scissors to cut the lines. Let's get creating. Now, first off, we're gonna start off with our hooks. Okay, so as you can see there, I hope you can, they've got the open eye, and you can see how aggressive that offset is in the hook, which is going to work wonders in the surf. Now to link these, I'll just come around here, and what we're going to do is you've got your eye, go in, you're never going to get your hook by just dropping it in like that, okay? Turn the hook around so the barb faces that open bit of the eye there, okay? So we go in like that, 180 degree turn, and in she goes. There's the first one. Let's put the second one in. In she goes, 180 degree turn, goes through, and there we go. Now what we're going to do here is, in most pairs of pliers, you've got your crimping pieces. They're fantastic for what we're going to do here. Although you can really do it in any pair of pliers you've got lying around the house. Put it in between the jaws and gently just squash all these eyes shut. Now it's very important that we squash these eyes shut, because if we don't, the hooks will back out of each other. So there we go. We've already got our set of gangs all done up there. Beautiful. Let's put them down. We're going to take our 80 pound leader first, okay? Find the tag end, which in my case is in here somewhere. Bit of a shake and out it comes. Now you can use any leader. I don't really have a preferred leader. If I had to choose one, it would usually be Berkeley Vanish, but I'm all out of that in the 80 pounds. So we're on this Pandera leader from Nomad, which I'm not sold on, guys, but it is what it is. So let's cut ourselves a bit of leader. Now this leader here would be 50 centimeters long, and this is our hook line. The 80 pound is our hook line. Very important. We don't need to do any fancy knots here, guys. A blood knot, a uni knot, whatever you like to the hooks is all you need. I actually don't suggest snelling, okay? Now that's gonna come at quite a shock to some people, but if the tailor is biting down on the shank of that hook, because you've hooked the tailor on that top hook, and you've got a snell coming down the shank, the tailor will be chewing on that snell. Always lube up, boys. The tailor will definitely be chewing on that snell, which is just going to cause you to lose that fish. What we're then going to do is get our bead and thread our bead on. Now that bead is going to be thread on, and that is going to go down and rest on top of that top hook there, as you can see. And that will be followed there by our beautiful little jig wig. Okay, so there you can see there, the jig wig is now hanging over the top of that hook. Now what that's going to do is that's going to sit over the top of the muley and cover the face of the muley, and in the surf, the jig wigs are built that well that they're so light they pulse in the water with the current. That's one thing. But when we retrieve this gang hook now, and you guys are going to know from my past videos, I'm always a keen fisherman to fish the whole time. That includes on the retrieve. That then becomes a lure for the tailor to target, because the tailor will belt that on the way in. So we've got 50 centimeters of leader, gang hooks on the bottom, 6 O's. Look at that, look how sticky they are, holy moly. Onto a bead above the hooks, onto a jig wig of your, I guess your choice. There's so many colors and variants, guys. You can be super creative with your colors. Now we're gonna tie the hooks on to the tri-crane. Now, as you can see, this is how the tri-crane looks. We've got the top, which the hook swivel is on the top of the swivel, and we're gonna tie the sinker off the bottom. So let's tie the hooks onto the side of that tri-crane there. Once again, you don't need to be fancy with your knots. Simple is best. And guess what, guys? We're almost done with this rig. How good is that? Now, of course, there are variants to this rig where we can actually add all sorts of stuff like floats, but when I'm targeting, okay, don't use your teeth, kids, it's bad, sorry. Yeah, you can add floats onto this and everything to suspend your baits, but I generally find with this rig, it's elevated enough off the bottom that this just waves around up top anyway. So that's why I'm not running a float on this like the jingle dangle or the rattle float or something like that. Okay, now we've got 50 centimeters roughly of that hook line. Once we have attached the hooks, the swivel, tied our knots, it reduces down to roughly 40 to 45 centimeters. So we're probably left with a 40 centimeter hook dropper at the moment. We're gonna make this 1 meter, okay? So 1 meter on the 40 pound line. That's important. 1 meter on the 40 pound. The 40 pound is the sinker line. It doesn't need to be as heavy. Now this is exceptionally important, especially around reefy areas. The reason I use 40 pound around on my sinker line, is so if I'm fishing very reefy areas and my sinker gets jammed up, I know with my heavier surf setup that I'm running a 50 pound braid, which will break, well, the 40 pound will break before the braid, essentially. That means I can still retrieve my hook, still retrieve my rig, and all I need to do is retie a sinker line. Now, as I said, that sinker line has gone off the bottom of that tri-crane swivel there, and all we're gonna do is tie the sinker clip to the bottom, okay? Now, the reason we use a sinker clip is it's very quick to change sinkers, on and off, bang, done. You can use whatever sinker you like, star, spoon, although spoons don't generally go too well with the sinker clips, or grapnel. I like using the grapnel, but what the sinker clip also allows you to do, if you've got a pumping wind in your face, you can streamline that bait by essentially using that sinker clip on the bottom of the hook there. So you essentially hook your hook under the sinker clip there, like that, and you cast it as an all-in-one bait system. I'll give a demonstration on that in my next video when I'm down the beach chasing these tailor. I'll show you exactly how to hook that up. So don't stress, just stay tuned. But that's as simple as this rig gets, guys. Now, the reason I like using 80 pound as well is, as you can see there, with 80 pound, it's thick enough and stiff enough that it likes hanging out and away from your sinker line. So how many times have you had that rig tangle and helicopter that's coming in? Now this doesn't stop it, but it helps prevent it. But essentially you can see, I'll just hang that down there. You can see there that is staying well away from that sinker line. Very important. But so that, guys, there is a very, very easy way to chase exceptionally large tailor with a bit of flash there as well. So let's run through this rig. On the top, we've got our tri-crane swivel of any size. Match it to what you're fishing for. We go down on 80-pound leader of 50 centimeters down to our 6.0 Vexed YM gangable hooks. Super sharp, super sticky. Put all the other brands away. Use these, they work. We then go onto a bead, then to the jigwig skirt. We then come to the tri-crane again, and off the bottom of the tri-crane, 1 meter of 40-pound tied onto a little sinker clip, which you will clip the sinker of your choice. Guys, it is that easy. That is exactly what I'm going to be running the majority of my winter fish through. And of course, my summer into autumn fish, where we are, we get a lot of big tailor into that summer-autumn transition. And I don't think you can really get much easier than that. Once you get tying these rigs and you're not filming it like I have, you will be tying these rigs in under 4 minutes. No worries. It's just good. Bang, 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 done. But guys, as I said, if you're not on the Vexed YM train at the moment, you need to be. You need to check these hooks out because they are ridiculously sharp and they will convert more fish. It is that simple. Right, guys, I hope this little rig tutorial was somewhat handy to you if you are unsure on how to charge these extra large tailor. And I tell you what, this rig will put more fish on the beach than your standard old rig of tying it with 40 and 40-pound and all your old components of your 7 6s, etc., etc. This is a big fish rig, 6.0 hooks, not your standard 3 and 4.0s. This is designed to catch the big one for you, and that's what you want to do. Right, guys, I hope this was handy, as I said, and we'll catch you on the next episode, which hopefully we will be getting into some tailor. And if it's not in the next episode, it will be very shortly. Right, guys, see you on the next one.